Okay, everybody, here are my wonderful audience members, including this little man. And I will begin once I hand off my wonderful little video recorder.
All right. Hi, Liz.
So, my name is Liz, and I am here to tell you guys all about March 1989, which was probably the best month and year ever. So, let's start with some of the good stuff that happened. First, we had the first nuclear test at the Nevada test site, which was really huge. Nuclear technology has come so far. And then on top of that, Discovery 8 was launched. 5 days later, it came back to Earth, so it wasn't very long. But the first female did the countdown. That is so big for women's rights, and I was so excited to see that in my birth month and year that a woman really stepped up to the plate and was able to push women so much further. On top of that, we had the first free elections in the USSR, which again is very, very huge and very exciting. We have free elections here, but there they did not, and so for that to begin in 1989, that's a huge deal, and it's obviously run since then. On top of that, we had the first African American show, Generations. It was a soap opera, and that actually premiered in March of 1989. And as you all know, African American rights were, they'd really gone very far, and this was a huge, huge turning point for them. On top of that, the first Soviet hockey players were permitted to play in the NHL, and I love hockey. It's like my one, true, I'm very excited about it and everything, so that was pretty cool to learn about. On top of that, the first U.S. private commercial flight, or commercial rocket, made its suborbital flight. That's huge. The U.S. was working so hard on this, and for them to be able to make the first suborbital flight was just leaps and bounds above what we ever thought that we would be able to do. And then we're here now with the technology, and we are able to just, do so much more than we were. But just to see this is so exciting for me, to see the different things that have changed since I was born. On top of that, another first, hi soybean, the first sea test of Trident II missile was tested. It self-destructed. That happens. I'm pretty sure they were not wanting it to self-destruct, but you always test something, things fail, and that's how you get better. George H.W. Bush was our president at the time. Okay, so those were all of the great first things that happened and the very exciting things. Now we're going to go on to some of the negative things that happened in March of 1989. The FDA ended up recalling all of the Chilean fruit because they found 2 contaminated grapes in Philadelphia. The grapes were contaminated with cyanide, and so the FDA decided, pull everything. Honestly, FDA recalls scare me because I love to eat, and it's such a fear, and I'm pretty sure that I eat everything that they recall, so I get very scared. On top of that, Eastern Airlines, which is a pretty large airline company, they had a mechanic strike in March, and 5 days later, they filed for bankruptcy. So apparently they really weren't doing as well as most people thought. On top of that, to file for bankruptcy is kind of something that obviously no company wants to do, but having to do it, they ended up not being an airline company anymore. But that was not in the same month. A huge negative in March of 1989 was ExxonMobil. ExxonMobil had 2 tankers spill a ton of oil. The first tanker was Houston. It was running around Hawaii, and it spilled 117,000 gallons of oil. On top of that, they had another tanker, which was called Valdez, that spilled 11.3 million gallons of oil around Alaska. It was considered the worst U.S. oil spill ever. Now, Exxon has been in the news. We know that they had another issue with their oil spills. And, you know, they really need to work on that, obviously, if this has been going on for 27 years. Now, I saved the best for last. The best thing that happened in March of 1989 was on the 20th. Yours truly was born. It was very exciting. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching my video, and thank you for listening to everything. If you have any comments, please comment. Anything that you needed to ask, let me know, and have a great evening. You gotta show everyone.